All righty. Before we start with the scholarships workshop, I wanted to thank each of you who turned in your or answered your questions for your college essays. If you sent me a draft of your college essay, or if you were able to answer those questions based on your prompt, thank you very much. If you have not, this is the last week of June. So I need something. I need a draft. I need something this week. So I'll reach out to you individually, but we started this in May, right? Yeah. So this is the last week of June. We need a draft or something by July, and July is coming up. Okay. If you're having any issues or concerns about it, let me know. If you recently joined this cohort and we just talked about your college essay, this is not for you. So I don't want you to get a little scared, like, oh my God, if we just talked about your college essay, you're okay. I'll give you, your couple weeks to figure that out. But for those who started the college essay process in May, this is the last week of June. And so I need a draft. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep. So we can get started. So essentially, the scholarship part of the program, we're going to start with some scholarships. Hold on one second. Okay. So essentially, how the scholarship part of this program works is you will receive a scholarship list every month, right? From me, with about 100 or 200 scholarships. From that list, I am going to take 4 or 5 scholarships based on your GPA, your test scores, what you decide what you're thinking about majoring in college, and I will give you 4 or 5 scholarships specific to you, right? That I know you're eligible for and I know you can do. After you receive that list, then I send out a list of dates. We will set up a one-on-one session where we do what we call scholarship work sessions. So every month you get a scholarship list, big list, and a shorter list. And then every month you have one-on-one scholarship work session with me. You guys will get used to it once we start because you'll know how we do it. But that's essentially how the scholarships work with this program. Today, what we're going to go over is I'm going to show you scholarship websites that you can sign up and create accounts for, that in addition to what I'm going to give you or support you with every month, you're doing scholarship searches also on your own. Okay. If you're on this call, we've already had your one-on-one meeting, and many of you have schools that you've listed that you're interested in applying to that cost almost $80,000, right? So we have to figure out how we're going to get that money. And the best way to get that money is to get free money, no loans. Some people, you have to go to school with some people will get small loans here and there. But the goal is to get scholarships and grants. That's money that you don't have to pay back. Okay. So that's why this particular workshop or presentation is very important, because you guys are going to get in school. We're not worried about you not getting in school. You need the money to attend the school and to stay in the school. Okay. And if you guys have any questions as I'm going through this presentation, you guys already know me. Go through this presentation, you can stop. You can just unmute yourself and you can ask me the question as I'm talking. You don't have to wait till the end. So essentially, when we talk about financial aid, there are 4 parts of financial aid. Every student who applies for school will have to apply for financial aid in some way or fashion, right? You guys have to complete the FAFSA in October. I think October is is when the application becomes live. Okay, so there are 4 types of financial aid. The first is grants. Okay, a grant is given to you, whether it's federally, like a Pell Grant or a MAP grant for the state of Illinois, and I believe like in Georgia they have like the HOPE grant or scholarship. But it's usually like federal money. And a lot of it is based on whatever state you live in. So it's free money. That grants are usually based on your parents' income. And so for a lot of you, your parents are working middle class, meaning they're not eligible. Not all of them, they're not eligible for specific grants. Okay. I'm not saying that grants is totally off the table for you, but for some, your parents make a lot of money. And so you're not necessarily eligible for certain grants. For some of you that's on this call, you will be, but most, I would say, based on what your parents make, you're not necessarily eligible for these federal grants. Okay. The second type of financial aid is work study. And basically that's like a job that you do on campus. Work study is also based on income, what your parents make. So usually those who are eligible for like the grants, the Pell Grant specifically, are also eligible for work study. Okay. And so that's just an opportunity for you to work on campus or around the campus, and to receive a stipend to help you pay for school. The third type of financial aid is loans. We want loans to be your last option. Okay. Loans is basically they'll offer you a student loan. It's usually no more than about $7,000, if that. And then if you need more money, after the loan they offer, then they'll offer like a parent loan. So your parent would have to sign to take out a loan for your education, which a lot of your parents don't want to do. One, because they may be paying off loans themselves from their own education, or two, nobody really likes loans. You got to pay the stuff back. And then you have interest on, what you're paying back. So that's the last. Now, I'm not saying that all of you guys are going to go to school and not have to do loans. There are some of my seniors that just graduated and got in school, and they did get some scholarship and money, but some of them will have to take out loans. We'll talk a little bit more about that as you in your senior year. I don't want to confuse you, but when you think of loans, that'll be the last option for us. And then the fourth type of financial aid is scholarships. That's what we're going to talk about today. Scholarships is usually through a non-for-profit, a private organization, a business, and it's money that you do not have to pay back. Scholarships are based on your academic merit. So it's not always based on income. It's based on talent, a particular area of study. So if you want to do marketing, and if you want to do psychology, if you want to do engineering, nursing, there are scholarships specific for those fields. And it's just, scholarships are limitless depending on this. Let's say scholarship opportunities are limitless, depending on your GPA. The higher the GPA, the better. And also test scores. The higher the test score, the better. Okay, we just talked about scholarships. You don't have the key to scholarships is you don't have to pay them back. Another key to scholarships, though, is it's a competition. So you have to apply to them in order to receive them. Now, there are some schools that you're going to apply to, and as we get into applying, to schools and your college applications, that once you apply to that school, they may offer you scholarship just based on your demographics, based on your GPA, your test scores, and anything like that. But outside scholarships, outside the scholarships that you get outside of the school offering, those are, you're competing. The Gates Millennium Scholarship, Posse Scholarship, Foot Locker. There are thousands upon thousands of scholarships out here. And the key to obtaining the right number of scholarships is the more you do, the better. I always talk about it, and this is 20 plus years ago. I completed over 100 scholarships. And we didn't have the internet like you guys have, where you could just click a button and you just type it and you put it in a Google Doc. None of that. I had to go to the library, look the stuff up, type it, mail it out, put a self-addressed envelope in the envelope in order to get it the status back, yes or no, that you received the scholarship. And I did that 100 times. And out of those 100, I received 10 scholarships. That was a great 10 because the 10 paid for my undergrad at Spelman. And I had so much money from those 10 scholarships that I even got refunds back every semester. So the more scholarships you apply to, the more opportunity you have to win. So when we start applying to scholarships, and you did 5 and you're just like, oh, I didn't get any. You don't just stop then. You have to keep going. Did you hear what I said? I said I did 100 back in my day, and I only received 10 out of that 100. Okay. So we're going to go over quickly, and I'm watching the time, the best practices for a scholarship search. Okay. There are plenty more, but these are the 7 that I focus on, and I've been working with students for like 20 years. We've focused on these 7 best practices. The first one is create and consistently update your profiles on all scholarship websites. We will go over some of the top scholarship websites that I think you guys should create accounts with. And I would suggest you use like the same username and password so you won't forget. You maximize searching for scholarships on your own. Like I said, you're going to get a monthly list from me, along with 4 or 5 of those specific that I know you can apply to, but you also need to be responsible for searching for scholarships yourself, especially if you're going to a very expensive school. Okay, and I get it. Like most of you guys don't really understand when it comes to bills and how bills are paid, because you live in a house that your parents pay bills for, and they pay for, everything around you. So I get that you don't necessarily understand how it works, but I'll just say this. It's less stress on your parents. If you choose a school and you get money for that school, it's less stress on them trying to figure out where that money is going to come from. Okay? So it's less stress on you and it's less stress on them. You can get in a school, they offer you money, and then you get scholarships. That was one of the reasons why I did scholarships. I knew I couldn't go to college if I didn't get scholarships. My mama didn't have any money. Okay? Some of you are from like working middle class homes. So in your mind or in your experience, you don't know what it's like not to have money. Because in your eyes, your parents always had it. Okay? And then for some, that's not your same, everybody don't have the same experience. You know that your parents don't always have it. But for some, this is new to you because you don't understand how money works. I'm telling you, I would never lie to you. The best thing you can do for your parents is they already stress about you going to school, picking a school and getting the money necessary to pay as much as the money as you can to pay for school. And the way you do that is through scholarships. Okay. It's like you're going to have like a part-time job with scholarships. Okay. If you get out what you put in. I'm sending you a list and I'm sending you the 4 or 5, and I will, remind you here and there. But, if you feel like I'm so busy, I can't do these scholarships, when it's time to choose your school, and many of you guys will choose schools based on, you'll be accepted, but really based on the financial aid package they're giving you, you may end up having to go to a school that's more affordable if you don't do as many scholarships. Okay. 3rd one is create a calendar to stay organized. I usually put that in my phone as a check one. Some people write it, a board, have it like on their wall or on the refrigerator of when things are due. Some, make a spreadsheet, with Excel. However you want to do it, you can do it. With the scholarships that I send you, I'm going to make everyone their own individual spreadsheet. And the list of 4 or 5, I'm not going to have the 100 on there, but the list of 4 or 5 that I choose specifically for you to complete, I'll put that on the spreadsheet. So if you want to add more scholarships to that, I'll start it off in September. The fourth best practice is apply for all scholarships you qualify for, regardless of the award amount. I've had students say that they didn't want to complete a scholarship for $500 because they're like, that's no money. $500 is more than you had before. If you win $500, that's $500 more dollars in your pocket or towards your education. So if I'm sending you a scholarship and it's worth $500, or if it's worth $1,000 or $2,500, there's no such thing as, that's not enough money. If you don't have enough money to pay for college or pay for whatever that tuition is, if it's $250 and I send you the scholarship, you need to apply for it. Okay. Is it number 5? I think improve your scholarship essays. That's what I'm here for. Some of you guys love to write. You're great writers. Some are writing kind of stress you out. I used to be that way. Writing would stress me out because the words that were in my head was hard sometimes to put on paper. I'm here to help you brainstorm, to help you edit, just like I'm doing with your college essay now. I will help you with your scholarship essays also. I'm going to remind you of this because it's June, and then when we get in the thick of scholarships, I'm gonna have to send a reminder. It's going to be very important. If you want me to help with essays or edit essays, you have to send those to me in enough time for me to do that. Okay. Right now I have 16 or maybe 18 of you guys as a cohort. We're going to add a few more. So let's say your scholarship is due June 30th, right? You could send me an essay like today. It's the 25th. It's 5 days. Or you can even send me an essay to edit 3 days before. If you send me an essay the day it's due, more than likely I'm not going to read that because I already have a schedule of things that I need to do. And it's really unfair to me. I used to have students that did that, and it was just difficult. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm just talking. You guys still here? You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Christine. Okay. Another best practice is learn from scholarship winners. I'm a lot bit older than you, even though I just told you about my story. I'm going to share with you a book by 2 scholarship winners. One I'm very close with and knew her and helped her with some scholarships, and she wrote a book. So if you can grab that book or look it up, that would be great. Also take advice, not just from me, but from your teachers or, counselors or people who may know where you can go to apply to schools. I mean, I keep saying schools, but scholarships. And then lastly, don't give up. Like I said, I applied to 100 scholarships, over 100. I got 10. So you got to keep going. And I do know you guys have very busy schedules. And I'll say this, I respect your time as long as you communicate that with me. But if I can figure out how to make it work and, with all the stuff that I got going on, you make time for what you want to make time for. And if scholarships is going to be a priority for you, you will figure out how to make time for it. Okay. So some of the websites that I was talking about, the scholarship websites, are here. Scholarships.com. That's one that I'm going to have you guys create an account for. I'll send this actually to your phone, that link actually to your phone, because this is where I get the monthly list from. So you would have to have an account in order to click on the scholarships that I send to you in order to apply. So if you already have an account, you can just let me know. Okay, friend, I already got an account. If not, I'm going to send you the link. Actually, I'm going to send everybody the link today. And I'll have you create an account. I would say use the same username and password for all of your scholarships account if you can. Okay, these are a few more. Scholarship Owl, Niche. That one I don't think is working anymore, so I might have to take that one off. Indigo, UNCF, and then there are scholarships on school websites. So the colleges that you that you apply to. And then when we start getting you to do your top 5 or your top 3, you can look at the scholarship list specifically to those schools also. And then your school may have a scholarship website. I suggest you guys go to your counselors, even if you don't necessarily know them or have a relationship with them, develop one, because there might be scholarships specific to your school that you can apply to that I may not know about. Okay. When we say maximize your search, make sure you're not just putting in just your demographics when they ask for your profile information or just your test scores, but put in specific stuff about you. Ethnicity is important because there are some scholarships based on the fact that if you're male and you're African American, you get scholarships. There are scholarships based on if you're a woman, so there's scholarships specific to gender and ethnicity and your majors and all of that good stuff. So if you have any unique situations, like some people kind of don't want people in their business, so they don't, tell if you had an illness or if you lost a parent, or if your mom or your dad are single parents. There are scholarships sometimes for those specific situations. You don't have to tell the world, but if you want to let me know, then I can search specifically for those scholarships for you. Okay. This is the use of the calendar. Don't get alarmed by I probably need to make this slide a little bit less words. But it's just a calendar of putting like all the due dates on a calendar or spreadsheet. Like I said, I'm going to create a spreadsheet for each of you individually. And then I'll add every month your 4 or 5 or 6 scholarships for that month with the due date, the amount of money the scholarship is for, and the link to that scholarship. Okay, you just got to kind of keep up with it. And like I said, if you want to add scholarships to that, that's fine. But I'll help you with this part. Again, apply to scholarships no matter the amount. There are some scholarships out there. They're just like, oh, if you do this quick essay or if you do this video, we'll give you $250. There's no such thing as that's not enough money. Okay. I know you want to go for like the big items or the big money scholarships, which is great. The 5,000, the 10, the 20, the 50. Yes, we're gonna do those. But even $1,000 here and there, all of that adds up. So no matter what the cost. The essays, we want to make sure that the essays are a very important part of the scholarships. You don't want to half do an essay or just cut and paste an old one. With essays, whatever they specifically ask for in a scholarship, you need to answer those questions specifically. Okay, sometimes questions it's a 3-part to them. Answer all the 3 parts. I've had students do scholarships and they've answered maybe 2 of the 3. And of course, they didn't get the scholarship. So don't half do the stuff, right? Again, if you need help with that, then I can help you. You have help. And again, I know that you guys had a busy schedule your junior year. We saw that as you were going through like test prep and stuff. Some of you guys are going to have an even busier senior year. I get that too. We just have to figure out some time to make sure you are applying to scholarships. Okay. This is the book I was telling you about with the best practice of getting advice from previous scholarship winners. Nia Hill went to Howard. She's since graduated, and she got scholarships for every year, like several scholarships to pay. She even got a master's degree. I cannot remember right now where her master's program was. I feel like it was on the East Coast somewhere, but I can't remember. I'm sorry about that. It's probably in the book. She and another young lady, Angel, who I'm not super familiar with, both received scholarships to pay for their undergrad. And for Nia, also her master's degree. And they wrote a book together. Nia went to HBCU. Angel, she went to a PWI, that's predominantly white institution. I think it was like Central Michigan or something like that. I can't remember the exact school, but neither one of them paid for their undergrad because they had scholarships. So it can happen. So it wasn't that Howard gave her a full ride or Central Michigan gave Angel a full ride. They got money offers from those specific schools as well as outside scholarships. And again, that's what I'm going to do to help you. This is an article on like the 7 C's of winning scholarships. If you want this article and you really gonna read it, just let me know and I'll send it to you. And it's basically saying what I'm basically saying with the best practices. When they say like content, that's what you're writing about. Commitment, you got to be committed to doing scholarships on a monthly basis. Communicate, that's twofold. That's how well you're writing and communicating who you are when writing your essays, as well as communicating with those around you that can help edit your essays, your teachers, myself, whoever. 4 is causes. That was talking a little bit more about scholarships related to issues and like causes for like homelessness is a cause, or human trafficking. So there's scholarships specific to certain causes that you can apply to. Create, I don't remember what Create was for. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Create was for, yeah, I don't remember. And then complementing curriculum was more so focusing specifically on like your college major, or specific whatever you're going to study. Create, I can't remember Create. I think Create has something to do with like your activities, like creating a list of like your awards and activities, something to that extent. So like I said, if you want to read the actual article, I have the link to that. It's called The 7 C's of Winning Scholarships. And then this one, the last one is Don't Give Up. And it's going to be hard. I'm not going to say it's not. The seniors that I'm working with now, they're still doing scholarships. They graduated in June. Some of them still have, maybe $5,000 out of pocket that they have to pay, that they're just like, if I can get scholarships to cover this, then I won't have to worry, or my parents won't have to worry. So July 1st hit, they're going to have a July list as well as August scholarship list, and they're not giving up, okay? My seniors who essentially have less than $5,000 to pay out of pocket were those students who did the most scholarships. Okay, I do have students that have to pay a good number of money. They get, I have one who, she's going to a school that costs about $60,000. They gave her $35,000 in scholarships, but if you do, you subtract 60 minus 35 is still 25, right? So she still owes $25,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to try to figure out to pay out of pocket, or even to get a loan for. Okay, so the more scholarships you work on in the beginning, the less stress you will be when it's time to choose your school. And then you can choose schools based on where you really want to go as an option, as opposed to having to attend a school based on money. Okay. Any questions? Yep, that's why. Any questions for me? Because I talk a little fast, but I know I didn't want to keep y'all on this this Sunday, and the BET Awards on. I don't know if y'all watched it or not. So that's why I try to get through this for y'all. So y'all can go watch if you're gonna go watch. But do you guys have any questions for me regarding scholarships, scholarship search, when we're gonna start the scholarship list? Any questions? And you gotta unmute yourself to ask questions, because the chat, I can see it sometime, and then sometime I can't. I can see it now. You can put it in the chat because I can see it now. Any questions?
What time are we like starting working on scholarships?
When you say time, you mean month?
Yeah, sorry, like yeah, month.
So technically speaking, September. Well, when you start getting your actual scholarship list, it'll be September. There are some scholarships this summer that some of you are eligible for. And that won't be for everybody. So if you're eligible for this scholarship list, it's only about 4 or 5 scholarships for juniors going into your senior year, which technically you are until like August 1st. I'll contact you personally for those scholarships, but all of us together, we start September 1. Okay, that's one of the reasons why you guys will start, you ladies and guys will start applications in August, because you're going to start the scholarship, doing scholarships, at least 4 or 5 of them in September. Okay, so that's a good question. We're going to start in September, but if you're eligible for the few scholarships I have this summer, I am going to contact you individually to see if you want to do them. If you can't do them this summer, that's fine. But in September, it's almost like, because your parents have hired me for a service, I'm not going to take no for an answer. If I see that you're not doing scholarships, and if if you've been with me since February, for the most part, I just communicate with you. If I feel like, you're not responding to me, or, you're not communicating effectively, then that's when I'll, have to add your parent on to the email or to a message. And I don't want to do that. Y'all probably already got some things going on with your parents. So I don't want to add any stress. But if I feel like come September, October, that I'm sending out scholarships and I'm sending out dates, and I'm like, hey, when are we going to connect to do a scholarship one-on-one session, and I'm not hearing from you, or you're not doing scholarships, then I am going to reach out to your parents, because that's what they're paying me for. Okay? I hope that answered your question. Any more questions or concerns? And it is a lot, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. When we get thick into it, it's going to be a lot. Just communicate with me. Sometimes it'd be like, Fernda, I got this, and that going. I know this is due here. You gave me 4 scholarships. Can I do 2 of them? Just communicate with me and we'll figure it out. Because it's going to be a lot, but it'll be worth it. Because like I said, I got some seniors now. They're not paying a dime for school, because they had several scholarships. I have several of them. And then I have a few seniors who are a little stressed out, because the school is expecting them to have $20,000 and they don't have that. Okay, so which group you want to be a part of? The ones that's chilling and about to be on vacation, with their families and don't have to worry about money, or the ones that are still stressing about money because they didn't take advantage of the September through December scholarships. Okay, so I know it's the summer, y'all just got out of school and you're just like, oh my God, Fernda, but I just want to be honest with you. I'm here to support you through it, but the scholarship is it's going to be like a part-time job, but it's going to be worth it. I promise. It's going to be worth it. Any more questions for me or concerns? I'm looking in the chat. Okay, I don't see anything in the chat. Nope, none. Okay, if you guys don't have any questions or concerns, I'm going to say have a great Sunday. I'm going to upload this video, the recording, and then I'll send the link out to everyone. Okay, so I will talk to some of you guys real soon. Have a great Sunday, or the rest of the month. Enjoy the rest of the month. And I'll be in touch soon. Okay. Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.